Welcome to Carpe Diem, a podcast about personal finance and everyday life. I'm Jamie Davidson.
And I'm Nicole Jackson from Financial Center First Credit Union. Thanks for spending your free time listening to us talk about how life and family affects us achieving our financial goals. Welcome back, Jamie. I'm glad to see you made it back from vacation all in one piece, not too burn up. Found your way back to Indiana with no issues?
Yeah, no issues of coming back. You know, we survived the vacation. It's glad to be back. I guess you could say it's glad to be back. You know, it's always hard coming back from vacation. But we got away for about almost 2 weeks, which is not our norm. So as we're talking about today's topic, I want to put out there, I don't usually do a 2-week vacation. Got a good deal this year, so that's why I did it for 2 weeks. And I think maybe, I'm trying to figure out a way to get the credit union to pay for my vacation for research for this. Do you think that'll fly?
Maybe.
Do you have to get an invoice for that probably?
Yeah. Did you keep all your receipts?
I can find them. I'm sure. I'm sure they're somewhere. So as you can guess, today's topic is, we're going to talk about saving for vacation. Everybody wants to go on vacation. Everybody likes vacations.
I love vacations.
And the stressor part of the vacation is actually doing the research and the planning for. And it's kind of funny because my wife that's her favorite thing to do. I caught her doing it yesterday. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, what are you doing? Well, I'm looking at Disney. I'm like, well, we just got back from vacation. So she's
time to go back.
She's already planning. I, of course, just shake my head and walk out the room and grumble underneath my breath because I know it's not going to make a difference. So you did a little research, didn't you?
Always.
So what'd you find?
Well, on average, a family of 4 will spend about $4,600 for one vacation each year. So that's a little over $1,000 per person. Then, of that, 40% of Americans are planning to take at least one vacation a year. Actually, 28% will take 3 or more. So
3 or more vacations per year. Wow.
Yeah.
And do we know, is this for all Americans or is it divided up?
Well, actually, the people in southern states are twice as likely to vacation more as those in northern states.
That's kind of fun, right? I'm thinking if I'm living in a southern state, it's warm most of the time. Why would I? Because we living in the north are like, I got to get someplace warm. Right.
But they're closer to the beach, so I'm thinking that maybe it's easier to get
closer,
to beach vacations.
Closer, yeah. So you probably don't have to. Yeah, okay. That makes a little more sense.
Not as much on gas.
Yeah, so you'd like a 3-hour drive to the beach and stay in a couple nights. That's cool.
Beats a 14-hour drive to try.
Yes, it does. So, wow. Those of you that do the 3, my household, we always do 1. Wife would do 3 or 4 if she could this year. This year so far we've only done 1, so I'm sure I'm going to get hit with 1 here, because she's starting to do her
She's
planning.
working on it.
Yeah. Last year we did 3, so it's really about making the plans though, because if you don't, what happens is if you don't do what we're talking about today, you're going to go in a lot of debt. And a lot of times people do go on vacations and they get in debt and it takes them forever to get out of debt. So that's really why we're talking about this today. So we're going to give you 5 easy steps for planning and enjoying your next vacation so you're not stressed out when you get home. Right,
exactly.
Nicole?
Yeah. So the first one that we've got is give it a name and a place to live. So much like the princess in the never-ending story, I know that, we're really good about showing our age, but when you name your vacation, it makes it real.
Oh, so what was your vacation's name this year?
It was OBX.
OBX, okay. Outer Banks.
Yeah.
Got it, yeah. Ours was Hilton Head, so yeah. Hilton Head, put it up on the calendar. All right. So once you give it a name, one of the ways to plan for it is you can go to your credit union and open up a club account. Here at Financial Center, we have a few different accounts for vacations. We have one that you can set up for July or November. So if you're wanting to go, towards the fall or towards the summer, you keep the money. You can put it in that account. You can only touch it 1 time a year. If not, it rolls over into your savings account. So even if you don't go, you're still saving for it. It's a really good one. Another thing you might want to do if you do have that special account is have a direct deposit going from your checking account to that. It's much easier if you have it set up to directly go there when you don't see it, and then all of a sudden it adds up, and it's really a good thing. And then we also have a member choice club account that you can open up in. You can only touch it 3 times a year. So this is really good for you to start planning. So many times we go, oh, we're ready to go on vacation. Let's start planning. And we're about 4 or 6 weeks out. Next thing you know, we got to find the money.
Right.
So if we work on finding the money first, it makes it a little bit less stressful.
Mm-hmm. And you can always set up your automatic transfers too, and within online banking. That way, if you kind of overestimate what you can do at a time, you can adjust it later.
Right.
Just to kind of keeps it flexible. Actually, believe it or not, I have another fact. When you write things down, it makes them real, and it sends a signal to your brain that you're serious about making something happen. So that's like making a promise to yourself. Actually, you're 42% more likely to achieve a goal when you write it down. Helps you narrow your focus, provide a short-term motivation, and it gets you excited.
Wow, I need to write down lose weight.
I've tried that. I think there's more steps to that one.
More steps to that one. Okay.
Yeah. So writing down where you're going.
Okay.
When you're going. And opening that account, like you said.
Yeah, open up that dedicated savings account. And, you're going to have that conversation, too, so everybody's sort of on board, right? We talk about this in many of our classes. If one person's idea is champagne and caviar and the other one's light beer, you got to come up with something in the middle there because you're on two different extremes there. I think about when I was growing up, budget was tight. Our vacations was camping, tent camping.
Right.
So I don't tent camp anymore. It might be something from my childhood. I don't know. So, what you want to do when it comes to this, though, whether it is camping, whether it is going and staying at a 5-star hotel or going on a cruise or going to Disney World or Europe, is you want to set a savings goal. You need to make sure you sit down and you come up with a goal and how you're going to get there. Example is going to be if you plan on spending $5,000 on vacation, how are you going to get there? Are you going to use credit cards? Are you going to save every week? Are you going to save every month? Are you going to create, put that in that special savings account, which we suggested already? You really need to think this through, which is going to lead you to the next thing you're going to talk about, Nicole, because it's really easy to say, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, just throw it out there. But that doesn't really help, right? You got to you're going to talk about this here in a minute. Think of all the different things you're going to do on your vacation. You're going to have lodging. You're going to have food. If you're driving, you're going to have gas, dining out, whatever it is. Hey, are you going to rent jet skis? Are you going to go on the dolphin cruise? All those things. When my wife and daughter, when we used to go to Hilton Head, one thing we had to put in the budget was they wanted to go to the outlet mall. So, shopping, believe it or not, has to go in there as well. Example would be the average cost of a family for in Disney is $6,000 to go on a Disney vacation. So
sounds like a lot.
So when we go to Disney, you pay for your room. We usually pay for our room and our tickets up front, right? Mm-hmm. And we used to do dining up front. And so what we would do is we'd set a dollar amount, which we'll talk a little bit more about here later on when we're talking after we go through and talk about our research, what that looks like. But it's really important to have that sort of in your mind what it looks like. Mm-hmm. Not only that, having the conversation with the family of what this looks like.
Right.
What's number 3?
Number 3 is do some research. Plan to have fun. Make a list of all those things that you want on that vacation bucket list.
Yeah, I tell you, my wife is great at this when it comes to planning. It's for me, it just drives me crazy. But for her, she has everything planned to not completely to the T, but she's got ideas so that we're not just running roughshod with no ideas.
Well, those bigger vacations, you kind of have to because if you don't look ahead to see what you've got actually as your options, you end up.
Yeah, she was talking to me about. Our niece was going to be in the Thanksgiving Day parade at Disney.
And that's cool.
That's cool. And she was hinting, and I looked at her and I said, that's like the 3rd busiest day of the year at Disney. She goes, yeah. I go, sounds like a place I'd like to go. And she knew right then and there. That wasn't that I didn't want to go to Disney, but it's like, okay, research, right? There's certain days, not just with that, but other places as well. There's certain places you don't want to go during hurricane season, right?
Another fun thing is you might want to find, or you may actually find, that wish list of things that you want to do is bigger than that budget that you're thinking about setting. So you might want to revisit your original plan and adjust what you're saving accordingly.
Yeah, if you decide you need more money, it's time to save more, it's time to cut.
Right.
I think, and I hate to keep beating on Disney World, but are you going to pay the $250 to build a lightsaber? If you are, you gotta, you gotta adjust that, right?
Right.
That's a lot of money for a toy, yes?
It is.
So yeah, make sure you're looking at that, and if you need to readjust, you do that.
And then, bottom line, if your dream is too big for what you've got in a budget this year, you might need to, reschedule that big plan for next year. There's no harm in completely changing what your vision is and doing something that's a little bit closer home with a staycation and maybe giving yourself some more time to save.
Wow. Because we as Americans love that idea, right?
Yeah, nobody really wants to wait.
We are so patient. We don't want everything right now.
Instant gratification.
Instant gratification. So yeah, this is the time where you step back and you go, okay, this isn't really in the budget. I don't want to put this on a credit card. If I do put it on a credit card, I want to be able to pay it off before we go,
right.
before we're paying interest on it. So sometimes the answer is you have to adapt. And, going on vacation is going on vacation. We got to think about it that way. You're getting away with a family to spend some time together. Mm-hmm. That's really what it's all about. So sometimes the answer is, like I said, champagne and caviar or beer and pretzels. You got to think about those things. Number 4, you want to revisit your budget and assign some spending limits. So really what this means is you're going to have different categories. One is, so our last vacation we went on, and I think you too, when you guys went to Outer Banks this year, did you buy groceries?
Yeah.
So one's groceries because you're going to do some dining in the house, right?
Right.
So you got to have a grocery bill. And so, okay, the good news is this. We're not home that week, so we can sort of take that grocery bill and transfer it over, but you're usually going to find out it's a little more expensive when you're out of town, right? Because you're going to buy things you don't usually buy sometimes. Then you're going, okay, how are we going to go out and dine? So now you got your dining. How much is that going to be? We did a little research, and the average cost of eating out for 4 is $132 a day.
Right.
So that's...
that could actually only be per meal, not necessarily even per day, because,
that's where you are. Are we going to eat out every meal? Because if we are, it's going to cost a lot. Are we staying at a hotel? Are we staying at a condo? Are we staying at Airbnb? Adding that in there, finding out what the best price is for that. So you've got to, that's another part right there. Don't forget entertainment.
Yeah.
You're going to get there. You want to be entertained, right? What is entertainment? It's really funny because daughter just got back from Hilton Head with her boyfriend's family, and there was like 20 of them. They're like, this is the most boring vacation we've ever been on. And Abby says Hilton Head's great. Well, we go there to relax. So, but if you're a person that's going, that's not what you do on your vacations. You're gonna, if you rent boats, jet skis, go on the dolphin cruises, you're that kind of person, that has to go in the budget. We don't do a lot of that, so we don't have to have that in the budget. It's really about what your budget is. Also think about the flights right now. They go up and down. They're averaging about $224 for domestic flights. And then also don't forget the other little things like the taxes and the fees. Fuel prices have gone up. Grocery prices have gone up. Those types of things. You've got to add those in there. Gratuity. So you've really got to look at that. And this is the time where I always tell people when it comes to budgeting, be conservative. I think this time you bump the number up and you try to stay below the number.
Right.
Because if you say we're only going to spend $100 dining out per day, you're probably going to end up doubling that.
Right.
And that's not realistic. It's not realistic.
Exactly.
Have a realistic budget.
The last one we had to go over was recording your spending. Even before you start your vacation, make sure you're tracking what you're spending on all these different pieces of your little vacation pie. You may not be on vacation yet, but everything that you do before you go on vacation still counts toward that vacation.
Oh my God! I think of my wife. How many bathing suits are you going to buy? How many things are you going to? She'll pack stuff, and I'll go, there's a Walmart there. If we need that, we can go get it. So, think about those. Need to be added in, right?
They do. And, while you're also making those purchases, anything that comes with a confirmation number or any travel details, write those down because, honestly, when you get out there, I know it's not related to budgeting, but when you get there, you may not have access to Wi-Fi or, any kind of digital service, and you will probably need those numbers when it comes
especially
down.
The emails, okay? Because nowadays a lot of the places, they have the doors where you have the numbers, and they don't send you the confirmation number until the cleaning crew's gone.
Right.
So you're not going to get it until that time. So make sure you know the link and who you're dealing with. So vacations are great. They're a great way to get out and relax, but if you don't do them the right way, you can come back and be really stressed out. Vacation debt is not a good way to come back and have. So with that, I think you've put together a great list today. Let's wrap it up one time, Nicole. So let's pack this information into one quick overview because we're going to pack it up for vacation. 5 easy steps to help you plan for your next vacation are: 1, give it a name and a place to live. Example would be ours was Hilton Head this year. What was yours this year?
It was Outer Banks.
Outer Banks.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Set a savings goal.
So number 2 is set a savings goal. Yes. And when we talked about that, have the goal, but this is one of those few times where you're actually probably going to set the goal a little higher because you're probably going to overspend when you go on vacation.
Right.
Number 3, do your research. Find the best deals out there. Believe it or not, people will go to the same place and spend thousands of dollars or more because they don't do the research. That's something my wife is great at. She loves it. So if you need somebody to research your vacation, give a shout out and Mrs. Davidson can help.
sure she's going to love that. Number 4, revisit your budget and set those spending limits.
Set those spending limits. Make sure everybody's aware of what they are. The 22-year-old this year thought, oh, Dad's buying, I'll get a cocktail. Well, we don't buy $14 cocktails. You want a cocktail, you're paying $14. I don't pay $14 for a drink.
I mean, that also comes into the younger kids too. Like, they expect to be able to go on vacation and buy all the little tchotchkes and souvenirs and
yes.
hermit crabs, maybe.
Yeah, we didn't get one of those. It's funny you bring that up, though, because their expectations, my 10-year-old's expectations are different than his sister's were, because he's been spoiled a little bit more. You're talking about the things you buy before you go on vacation. Well, to keep him entertained, we need to buy him a new video game. I'm like, well, how much is the new video game? $60. I'm like, well, where's that coming from?
The vacation budget.
No, that's a different budget. I was told. Number 5.
Hold yourself accountable and record your spending even before you leave.
Yeah, hold yourself accountable. Make sure you're recording the spending. Keep your receipts. Make sure you're not being overcharged. Because you might need to follow up on that. I've got one of the hotels I've got to follow up with that they didn't do what they were supposed to do. So be prepared to do that afterwards. I love the plan. I love the saving for vacation. I love for people to save for vacation, the holidays, for anything. So this is a great podcast, I think. Thank you, Nicole.
Yeah.
Carpe Diem is presented by Financial Center First Credit Union. It's produced by Jamie Davidson.
And me, Nicole Jackson. Financial Center is an 8-time national award winner in the category of adult financial literacy, and our goal is to what, Jamie?
We want to help improve your financial life, and to learn more about that, visit fcfcu.com.
Like what you hear? Subscribe to us on Google, iTunes, SoundCloud, the All Indiana Podcast Network, and Spotify.
Yeah, enjoy your summer, enjoy your vacation, and thanks for listening, everyone.
Thanks, guys.